तो गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू मनु लॉ क्लासेस। मेरा नाम गौतम दीक्षित है, जीके एंड करंट अफेयर्स फैकल्टी। आज के इस वीडियो में हम दिसंबर 14 2021 का डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस करेंगे। बिफोर आज का वीडियो स्टार्ट करें, जस्ट लेट मी गिव यू द इम्पोर्टेंट न्यूज़। सो फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक न्यूज़ सेक्शंस और नेशनल न्यूज़ वी हैव articles related to inflation, then about the Prasad scheme because Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi has been inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Then we will also study about the Republic Day, the invitees of the Republic Day। और आज मैं आपको एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट बताऊंगा कि why the Republic Day is celebrated on January 26, why that day was selected। then हम UNCLOS के बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे, इसका फुल फॉर्म क्या है and how it determines the rights of the nation on sea, and India is a member of UNCLOS, so what India has taken steps to maintain peace and tranquility in Indian Ocean region, we will discuss about that। Then going to the international sanctions, international news, we will be discussing about the European Union sanctions on certain companies and individuals in Russia। हम पहले से ही न्यूज़ करते आ रहे हैं कि there is a fear that Russia might invade Ukraine because there are presence of about 1,75,000 Russian troops on the Russia-Ukraine border। Then on the editorial, हमने पहले भी किया था that European Union has announced a global gateway। So today we have an editorial on that। So we will discuss about the global gateway, which is considered as the rival of the Belt and Road Initiative of China। Belt and Road में क्या difference होता है वो भी मैं आज आपको बताऊंगा। Then on economic section, continuing with the inflation, we will also discuss Nomura India Business Resumption Index, and then we will discuss about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and then I will discuss one important factual information, or you can say a static GK information, that what is privilege motion, under what rules of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha they are covered, and what does it means। So let's start with the news today। So the पहला न्यूज़ जो है, it is about the heritage and progress now go side by side in India says मोदी। So यहाँ पे कल काशी विश्वनाथ कॉरिडोर इनॉग्रेट हुआ, and now while inaugurating this Kashi Vishwanath corridor, he has highlighted that it is the symbol of Sanatan culture of India। Now he has given, if you come here, that today from this 1000-year-old Kashi, मतलब अगर आप देखेंगे काशी तो वो इंडिया का सबसे ओल्डेस्ट सिटी है। If you go and study the ancient history, so there were 16 Mahajanpadas in the ancient India. One of them was Kashi, and Kashi is the oldest city. After Kashi, Magad or Patliputra, it became the prominent city in India। So here he has told that India now has both Virasat, that is heritage, and Vikas, that is called as progress। So over here he has highlighted that India is beautifying Somnath temple, has laid the thousands of kilometers of optical fiber in the sea। Today India is not only renovating Kedarnath temple। Kedarnath temple is one of the चार धाम यात्रा इन उत्तराखंड। द अदर 3 टेम्पल्स कौन से हैं चार धाम यात्रा में? 4 प्लेसेस होते हैं, एक तो केदारनाथ है। अदर 3 कौन से हैं? प्लीज राइट मी इन द कमेंट बॉक्स। नाउ इफ यू विल जस्ट गिव लिटिल टेंशन ओवर ईयर, तो एक स्कीम है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, वो यहाँ पे जानना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे लिए। दैट स्कीम इज कॉल्ड एज हृदय स्कीम, HRIDAY, हृदय। This is the scheme under the Union Ministry of Hriday scheme। So the full form of Hriday is Heritage City Development and Augmentation, and it is under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs। अब जो हृदय स्कीम है वो फोकस करता है दोनों चीज़ों पे, जो यहाँ पे प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ने हाईलाइट भी किया है, दैट इट फोकसेस ऑन इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट एज वेल एज इट फोकसेस ऑन heritage conservation। The next news is related to the consumer price inflation, which is released by the National Statistics Office। Now दूसरा जो inflation measurement होता है, that is called as wholesale price index, but over here we are talking about consumer price inflation। It is released by the National Statistics Office। Now so if you will just see that India's retail inflation, तो CPI का जो next term है वो है retail inflation। It has hardened, मतलब it has increased to 4.91% from 4.48% earlier, and now if you will just see that this rise in prices is mainly in urban part, that is 5.54%, and mainly driven by the vegetable prices. उसके बाद अगर हम देखेंगे ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड कम्युनिकेशन इन्फ्लेशन, तो it was very high, it is still very high, but as compared to last month it has eased to 10.02% from 10.09%. Now 10.02% is still very high in spite of excise duty cut announced on petrol and diesel by the central government by ₹5 and ₹10 during Diwali festival. Now what are the reasons for this upward price pressure, means price rise? It is because of rise in input and commodity cost. The next is the Odisha High Court has ordered the postponement of State Film Award ceremony. तो यहाँ पे एक कंट्रोवर्सी हो गया है उड़ीसा हाई कोर्ट में. जो एक पर्सन है मिस्टर इस्लाम, he had filed a petition citing that two films, that is Khushi and Golmaal Love, these are the remakes of Korean film Hope and Punjabi film Carry On Jatta respectively, and he says that his film, that is Chhabi Rani, was not included in the State Film Award. So citing this reason, then the Odisha High Court has directed the state government to postpone the 31st State Film Award 2019 ceremony. The next news from state. So Delhi government has launched Delhi Ki Yogshala program, under which the citizens of Delhi, they are going to get free yoga training at their doorstep for 6 days a week. Now the aim of this Delhi Ki Yogshala program is to make yoga to reach every household and to make it a mass movement. The next is Republic Day. So friends, as I was saying that why 26th January is celebrated as Republic Day, so it is related with the Purna Swaraj resolution. Purna Swaraj resolution. So Indian National Congress in its Lahore session, so the Lahore session of Indian National Congress in 1929, it declared 26th January to be observed as Purna Swaraj Day. Purna Swaraj Day. At that time we were still under the British rule. So when India became free and when the constitution was to be adopted and it is to be enforced, so 26th January was selected as the day for the Republic Day when constitution was fully enforced in India. So now over here for this Republic Day, the invitees will be the Central Asian leaders. So let's see what are the Central Asian countries. These are Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. Now the people, the head of states who are going to participate over here is Kassym-Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan, Sadir Japarov of Kyrgyzstan, Emomali Rahmon of Tajikistan, then Gurbanguly Berdimuhammedov of Turkmenistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev of Uzbekistan. Now earlier also the Indian government had invited the regional groups at the Republic Day. So if you will see, the SAARC group was invited in 2014 and BIMSTEC group was invited in 2019 under the neighborhood first policy of the present government. Then in 2018, 10 leaders of the Asian countries were also the chief guests in the Republic Day. Now is it for the first time that India is inviting any country from Central Asian country? So if you will just see that for the first time all 5 countries, all 5 Central Asian countries are becoming the part of the Republic Day celebration. But earlier if you will see that in 2019 the Kazakhstan's former president Nursultan Nazarbayev, he was a chief guest in 2009. Now some factual informations. Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So India became the member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization in 2017, where all the Central Asian states are also members along with China and Russia except one, that is Turkmenistan. Then the India Central Asia Dialogue was launched in the year 2019, and this year the 3rd edition of India Central Asia Dialogue will take place. Second is that India is trying to increase its connectivity with the Central Asian country, but we will just see that there is a constraint for land connectivity. That's why India is exploring the option of maritime connectivity, in which Shahbar port in Iran is going to play a very crucial role, and the second will be the International North-South Transport Corridor. The next is about the UNCLOS. So the full form of UNCLOS is the United Nations Convention on Law of Sea. It was adopted by the United Nations in the year 1982. So if you will just see UNCLOS, so UNCLOS, it establishes the international legal order of the seas and ocean. Fine. It defines the rights of countries in the maritime domain. So according to the UNCLOS, India has always remained committed to promoting free, open and rule-based order which is rooted in international law. तो यहाँ पे कौन सा international law है? UNCLOS की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे. Okay. So what is the meaning of this promoting a free, open and rule-based order rooted in international law? It means that every country should have the freedom of navigation, freedom of carrying out trade through maritime routes, okay, and there should not be dominance of any one country in the maritime domain. So if you will just see that over here India has a different maritime policy as compared to what is practiced by China in South China Sea and the larger Indian Ocean region. The next is that India has developed its maritime cooperation with regional partners under the Sagar program. Sagar का full form क्या है? Security and growth for all in the region. Now if you will just see that recently India had organized a maritime conclave in Goa. So please write me in the comment box that at which place in Goa the maritime conclave was organized by the Indian Navy. The next is maritime domain awareness. So India has created a maritime domain awareness to promote maritime security and to address emergencies like disaster, oil spills, piracy, etc. in the Indian Ocean region. Over here we are going to do about the privilege motion. So what is privilege motion? So if you will just see the privilege motion, so over here every member of parliament, whether in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, they have certain rights and privileges to carry out their duties effectively. Fine. But if there is any breach of these rights and privileges, then every member of parliament has a right to move a motion against any such person who has led to this breach of privilege. Such motion is called as privilege motion. Now privilege motion is provided by rule number 222 in chapter 20 of Lok Sabha, and it is provided by rule 187 in chapter 16 of Rajya Sabha. The next news is about the doses of COVID-19. So over here Piyush Goyal, who is the Commerce and Industry Minister, he has said that India has the plan to produce 5 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine next year. तो हमने पहले भी न्यूज़ किया है कि India has started supplying the vaccines to countries under its vaccine Maitri policy, and Serum Institute of India, though it has said that it is going to reduce its vaccine manufacturing, but it has resumed its supply under COVAX facilities. Currently, if you will just see the inoculation rate, so about 85% of eligible Indian population have been inoculated for the first dose, and more than 50% have been inoculated for their second dose. Now this news is related to Supreme Court news. Supreme Court had said on December 13 that it wanted to know the government's policy to revive vaccine public sector units. Means there were certain companies in the public sector which were producing vaccine, but if you will just see that after the liberalization and privatization policy, 17 PSUs were shut down in 2005, and by 2007 only 7 PSUs remained operational. Out of these, 5 are under the control of central government. These 5 PSUs are Bharat Biologicals and Immunologicals Limited, Indian Institute of Immunologicals, Central Research Institute in Kasauli, Pasteur Institute of India in Kunnur, and BCG Vaccine Laboratory in Chennai. 2 PSUs are under the state government, so they are King's Institute of Preventive Medicine, Chennai, and Haffkine Institute and its commercial arm Haffkine Biopharmaceutical Corporation Limited, which is in Mumbai. So the next news is related with the EU slapped sanctions on Russian military firm. So we will also do an editorial related with it, that why EU has slapped sanctions. So see, the basic is that it is all going related to Black Sea. Okay, so Russia has built up a massive troop of 1,75,000 around Ukrainian border. Okay. At the same time, the turmoil is going on in Europe related to Belarus, Poland refugee crisis. So over here, the European Union, it sees the hand of Russia in supporting the Belarus for creating refugee crisis in Europe. So over here, the EU has now slapped the sanctions. So if you will just see, the bloc has targeted the Wagner Group and 8 people over the human rights abuses in Ukraine, Libya and Syria. So there are Wagner Group and 8 individuals and 3 energy companies in Syria which are related to the Wagner Group. Okay, we have been accused of financing the mercenaries, means fighters in Ukraine, Libya and Syria. The next is Britain's rush to get shots in booster breeds against Omicron. So we are already doing a news related to that, whether India requires a booster dose or not. So we know that over a period of time the vaccine efficacy decreases, but due to the emergence of Omicron in Europe, so Britain had already allowed the booster dose for all eligible adults who have completed their dose of vaccine and have completed 6 months. So now if you will just see that the Omicron cases which is increasing in Europe, now Britain, means people who are living in Britain, they are rushing to get the booster dose. The next is Harnaaz Sandhu from India. She has been crowned Miss Universe 2021. She is from Punjab and she has won the Miss Universe 2021 contest after beating 70 contestants from 79 countries. Now the question is that if she is the first woman to win the Miss Universe 2021. So if you will just see, no, earlier Sushmita Sen in 1994 and Lara Datta in 2000 have won the Miss Universe title. Now the other important information over here is कि ये कौन सा edition था Miss Universe 2021 का. So it was the 70th edition which was held in Eilat resort city in Israel. After winning the Miss Universe 2021, she is going to move to New York where she will live during her Miss Universe reign and she will become a spokesperson for various causes. Now one final question which was asked to her and which made her the Miss Universe was when she was asked that what advice she would give to young women to how to deal with the pressure which they are facing today, especially in the backdrop of pandemic. तो इन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा आंसर दिया है यहाँ पे कि she is saying that the biggest pressure the youth of today is facing is to believe in themselves. मतलब self belief is important and every youth including women and men all, they should recognize that they are unique and that what makes them beautiful, that uniqueness makes them beautiful, and stop comparing themselves and let's talk what is more important and what is happening worldwide. Second is a bit of information. Omicron, which was detected in South Africa and reported to World Health Organization on 24th November 2021. Now South African president, he has tested positive for COVID-19. His name is Cyril Ramaphosa. So the next is Anthony Blinken begins Southeast Asia tour. So we already know that US is restructuring its foreign policy and now Indo-Pacific region has become the next major flashpoint in the geopolitical flashpoint in the world. Earlier the G7 foreign meet was organized in UK where they called for collective action against Russia because there is a lurking danger of invading the Ukraine. Now Anthony Blinken, who is the US Secretary of State, he is on a visit to Southeast Asia tour in the Indonesian capital of Jakarta, and where he is going to pursue the US policy of pivoting the Indo-Pacific region. Now over here if you will see, there are certain important factual information that Indonesia, it is the world's third largest democracy and is a strong proponent of rule-based international order. The next is the foreign minister of Taliban government in Afghanistan, Amir Khan Muttaqi, has said that Taliban is committed to giving education jobs to girls and women and they say that they want good relations with United States. इसका एक बैकग्राउंड है, उसको हम समझते हैं कि राइट नाउ आफ्टर द तालिबान टेक ओवर ऑफ अफगानिस्तान दे कैप्चर्ड काबुल ऑन 15 अगस्त 2021. After that Taliban, Afghanistan is going under humanitarian crisis. So there is shortage of food, there is shortage of medicine, etc. Earlier, countries like China, European Union, India, even the Delhi Regional Security Dialogue, which was held where the Central Asian countries participated, they all said that help to Afghanistan can be given, the humanitarian crisis can be solved, but Afghanistan, the Taliban government should make sure that it respects the rights of minorities, girls and women. So now Taliban, it has committed to giving education, jobs to girls and women. The next is Taliban has also sought to release the $10 billion funds which in the US, which was frozen after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan for solving the humanitarian crisis. Earlier, Work for Wheat program or Work for Food program was launched by the Taliban government to solve the crisis of food issue and growing unemployment. The next is from the economics. Good news is coming that if we just compare this from the first page, that inflation has risen, but still we can see that business activity has reached a new high, though there is a lurking fear of Omicron variant. तो अगर हम नोमुरा इंडिया बिजनेस रिजम्पशन इंडेक्स को देखें और उसके लास्ट वीक के एक्टिविटी को अगर इस वीक के एक्टिविटी से हम कंपेयर करें, तो एज कंपेयर टू लास्ट वीक व्हेन द इंडेक्स वाज 102.9, this week it is 105.8. okay, if you just see the mobility indicator, it rose for the week and it was increased by 4 percentage point. Then the labor participation rate, it also increased to 41.4% from earlier 40.5%. The next is the import of vegetable oil has risen by 6% to about 11.73% lakh tons. Now vegetable oil, which is one of the significant import of India, it has risen by 6% in November. Now government has already launched a program to solve the crisis of rising vegetable oil. Please write the name of that program in the comment box. The next is the TVS Motor Company has floated a wholly subsidiary company named TVS Electric Mobility Limited to focus on electric mobility business. इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस कभी कभी एलेट में या अदर लॉ एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स में एज अ 1 मार्कर आ जाते हैं. The next we have editorial. So in today's newspaper, 3 editorials are very important. One is from the Democracy Summit, which was recently held in the United States. The next is about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and the World Championship title. There are some problems related to the last lap of the race. Then we have 2 editorials, one about the Global Gateway, an initiative announced by the European Union, and then Fathoming the New World Disorder. So we will start with sanctions and rights. तो यहाँ पे डेमोक्रेसी समिट होस्ट किया था यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने. उस डेमोक्रेसी समिट में द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स हैज़ मूव्ड अ सैंक्शन अगेंस्ट द रैपिड एक्शन बटालियन. नाउ रैपिड एक्शन बटालियन क्या है? सो रैपिड एक्शन बटालियन एक जॉइंट टास्क फोर्स है जो 2004 में एस्टेब्लिश हुआ था. इसका जो फंक्शन है टू एंश्योर इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी, इंटेलिजेंस गैदरिंग ऑन क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज़ इन बांग्लादेश और गवर्नमेंट डायरेक्टेड इन्वेस्टिगेशंस. ओके, एंड इसके जितने भी फंक्शंस हैं, इट इज़ प्राइमरी टारगेटेड इन फाइटिंग द मीनेक ऑफ ड्रग इन द कंट्री. बट इसके साथ साथ देयर हैव बीन एलिगेशन अगेंस्ट द रैपिड एक्शन बटालियन ऑफ वाइड स्प्रेड एलिगेशंस ऑफ सीरियस ह्यूमन राइट्स एब्यूज़. ओके, तो यहाँ पर अगर हम देखेंगे कि वो क्या है एब्यूज़, सो वी विल जस्ट सी दैट according to the US Treasury that various NGOs have made allegations against the Rapid Action Battalion force, which has led to more than 600 disappearances since 2009, जो कि बहुत बड़ा नंबर है. 600 extrajudicial killings since 2018 and torture mainly of opposition party members, journalists and human rights activists. The next is that यहाँ पे सिर्फ सैंक्शंस इनके अगेंस्ट नहीं लगा है, कुछ चाइनीज़ ऑफिशियल्स हैं जिनजियांग रीजन में, उनके अगेंस्ट भी लगा है. देन सिटीजन्स ऑफ नॉर्थ कोरिया जिनके ऊपर शक है या सस्पेक्ट है दैट दे आर अर्निंग इलिसिट इनकम्स अब्रॉड टू सपोर्ट द कंट्रीज आर्म ट्रेड, एंड देन देर आर सर्टन रशियन इंस्टीट्यूशंस दैट हैव एडेड देम. देन 2 मिलिट्री ऑफिसर्स फ्रॉम श्रीलंका जिनके अगेंस्ट एलिगेशन है दैट दे हैव कमिटेड द ग्रॉस राइट्स वायलेशंस अगेंस्ट ethnic Tamils and certain chief minister of states in Myanmar who have supported the military junta government in Myanmar for ongoing brutal attack on citizens who are supporting democracy. Okay, now over here it is saying that अगर हम एक साउथ एशिया की अगर बात करें, सो अगर सिर्फ साउथ एशिया की बात करें तो such sanction will have an effect on the broader human rights issues. Okay, but there should be certain mechanism to name the people who are committing these gross violations, and such actions by the United States shall give pause for thought. मतलब कि जो अथॉरिटीज़ हैं उनको एक बार सोचना चाहिए अपने ओवर जीलस लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज के बारे में और वायलेशन जो वो कमिट करते हैं. Now the next is about the last lap. So over here we are going to talk about the Formula 1 world champion. So already 24-year-old Max Verstappen वो Formula 1 world champion पहली बार बने हैं by defeating Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes, who is the 7-time champions. And before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, when the Saudi Grand Prix was held, so after Saudi Grand Prix both had the same point, that is 369.5 पॉइंट्स. ओके, अगर हम देखेंगे कंसिस्टेंसी का तो इस साल के सारे सीजन्स में मैक्स वर्स्टैपन का बहुत ही बढ़िया कंसिस्टेंसी है. 10 रेस वो ऑलरेडी जीत चुके थे, करीब करीब 8 रेसेस में ही वाज सेकंड नंबर. ओके, बट यहाँ पे एक प्रॉब्लम आ गया है रिलेटेड टू लास्ट लैप, दैट इज 50 अराउंड 58 लैप में से 58 लैप में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आया तो उसको फिर से कराया गया लास्ट लैप को. And then the decisions were taken behind the closed door, which has been challenged by the Mercedes in the FIS International Court of Appeal. Okay, so we will see that how the decisions comes out. The next is fathoming the new world disorder. तो ये जो पूरा है इसमें फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशंस नहीं है बट कुछ हिस्टोरिकल इंफॉर्मेशंस हैं जो हमारे एग्जाम के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो यहाँ पे एक टर्म यूज हुआ है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ग्रेट पावर फटीग. सो ओवर हियर द ग्रेट पावर फटीग, यहाँ पे यूएस की बात हो रही है बिकॉज द बैकग्राउंड इज यूएस विथड्रॉवल फ्रॉम अफगानिस्तान विच ऑथर सेज दैट इट शोज द साइन ऑफ ग्रेट पावर फटीग. बट यहाँ पे ये है कि देयर आर टू व्यूज ओवर हियर. वन व्यू इज that US is recalibrating its foreign policy to contain China in Indo-Pacific region. Second ये है कि that US withdrawal from Afghanistan shows the sign of weakness. Now the author he supposed the second view that withdrawal from Afghanistan shows the sign of weakness. Now he gives some historical examples of that and he says that any world order, any world power, superpower, when it is withdrawing or when it is going weak, it takes certain time to realize that yes, they have gotten weak. So he draws the example of Britain and Russia. So he says that after World War II, Britain's imperial glory came to an end and it took time to come to terms with that reality. It was only in 1956 during Suez Crisis when Britain realized that it has ended in the West Asia. Similarly, when US withdrew from Vietnam, Moscow read it as a sign of US weakness in 1975. Then the Soviet Union, it invaded Afghanistan, seized Kabul, established its government over there. Okay, but later on what happened, that Soviet Union became weak in Afghanistan and it had to withdraw by 1989, which led to fall of USSR and breakdown of USSR. Okay, but if we will compare today's US with UK or Soviet Union of 1989, so today's US is more agile than the Britain of 1956 and Soviet Union of 1989. But if we just see that gradually the US ability in shaping the geopolitical outcomes is withering away. जैसे कि पहला example है अफगान withdrawal, the second example is Iraq and Libya withdrawal. साथ साथ में अगर हम US की बात करें तो US currently could not stop Crimea's accession by Ukraine from Ukraine in 2014. The next was that in Syria also it was outmaneuvered by the Russians. Now there are three challenges to US currently. One is Ukraine issue, where Russia has amassed about 1,75,000 troops and there is a fear of invasion from Russia. The second is in Europe only, the Belarus issue, the migrant crisis issue, which we discussed on the foreign page. So according to many European Union countries, the president Alexander Lukashenko, who has perpetrated this refugee crisis, he is supported by Putin. The next is about Iran. So the Iran nuclear deal, which failed after the withdrawal of US from the deal. Now Iran wants that first it needs assurance from USA that the deal will not be thrown out. Second, that that the sanction should be removed first. The second is the no future president should violate the terms of the agreement. Okay. The third is about the South China Sea, where already China has intruded into the Taiwan Air Defense Identification Zone multiple times. Okay. Now how US is trying to control this? So US has there is already a Quad partnership. Then US has already announced the AU-KUS trilateral partnership between Australia, United Kingdom and United States. Now the last one is that US currently has very tough choice. Suppose US goes for sanction against Russia, so it is going to bring it very close to China, and then there will be a Eurasian partnership which will get strengthened and which US has feared since Cold War. The second is the Afghan withdrawal and downsizing in West Asia, which suggests that America's top priority is China. So after the disintegration of USSR, there was a unipolar world. Okay, then US is currently preparing for the bipolar contest with China. So whether US will act as a global policeman of the liberal order or whether it will prepare itself for the bipolar world, that has to be seen. The next is a global gateway to create links not dependencies. यहाँ पे एक ग्लोबल गेटवे है, इसको BRI से कंपेयर किया जा रहा है, दैट इज बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव. बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव क्या है? ये एक चाइना का इनिशिएटिव है. यहाँ पे दो टर्म आते हैं, बेल्ट एंड रोड, तो आप कंफ्यूज मत होइएगा. इट कंप्राइजेस ऑफ टू रूट्स, लैंड रूट्स एंड सी रूट्स. लैंड रूट्स को यहाँ पे बेल्ट बोला जाता है और सी रूट्स या मैरीटाइम रूट्स को यहाँ पे रोड बोला जाता है. ओके, सो इट इज़ एन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कनेक्टिविटी प्रोजेक्ट. अब इसके अगेंस्ट में यूरोपियन यूनियन ने एक ग्लोबल गेटवे स्ट्रेटेजी निकाला है. ओके, वेयर इट इज़ हाईलाइटिंग दैट इट इज़ द ग्लोबल गेटवे प्रोजेक्ट बाय टीम यूरोप, एंड ऑलरेडी दे आर सेइंग that already they are working with countries like India, Brazil, and they have the whole mechanism how to support investment in infrastructure and emerging technologies. So if you will just see that it starts from the connectivity partnership between European Union and India, which was adopted recently and which talks about expanding cooperation across digital, energy, transport and people to people sector. The next is that the European Investment Bank has financed around euro 4.31 billion in India since 1993, which also includes connectivity project. Then EU is working with Brazil for new fiber optic cable to carry data faster and more securely between two continents. Now how it is going to help both the countries, especially Latin America? So European and Latin American scientists will collaborate on issues like climate modeling, disaster mitigation. The next is that this cable, which starts from EU, which is under the General Data Protection Regulation of the EU, it has also led Brazil to pass the same stringent law for data protection. Then for Africa, if you will see, then the EIB, okay, European Investment Bank, it signed euro 1,100 million credit line to support African small and business to recover from the pandemic, okay, and to seize growth opportunities from the African continental free trade area. The next is that what is the modus operandi of global gateway. So here it is talking about no debt traps. यहाँ पे एक लाइन बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, नो वाइट एलिफेंट्स एंड नो डेट ट्रैप्स बट प्रोजेक्ट्स दैट आर सस्टेनेबल एंड सर्व द नीड्स ऑफ लोकल पॉपुलेशन। ये डायरेक्ट क्रिटिसिज्म है BRI पॉलिसी का, बिकॉज हिंदू में भी पहले आ चुका है दैट वेरियस स्टडीज हैव बीन कैरिड आउट दैट कंट्रीज विच हैव पार्टनर्ड विद चाइना ऑन BRI they are in severe debt from China. The next is that how it is going to function. So if you will just see that they are going to use the resources of Team Europe. It means the EU, its member states. Then the Global Gateway aims to mobilize investment of euro 300 billion in public as well as private fund. Then the half of the investment will be coming from the EU budget, and the other half will be the planned investment from European financial institutions and member states development financial institutions. Next, it talks about Invest EU. So it has a EU internal program that is called as Invest EU. Then Horizon Europe and Connecting Europe facility, which will be working with Global Gateway. Then there will be the creation of Export Credit Facility, which is going to be the biggest source of investment in infrastructure. Second is that Global Gateway has identified certain flagship projects. One is Bella, building the Europe link to Latin America, under which the rest of the Latin America apart from Brazil will be the part of EU Latin American countries digital alliance. Then in Africa, they are going to mobilize euro 2.4 billion grants for sub-Saharan Africa and euro 1 billion for North Africa, and they are going to support renewable energy and production of renewable hydrogen. So that's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with the daily Hindu analysis. Till then, have a nice day. Take care. Thank you.